Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Crazy development. I just uploaded a video with Russian President Vladimir Putin's statements regarding lowering the threshold of their nuclear weapons use doctrine and naming the circumstances under which Russia could hit targets using nuclear weapons. And it is basically whenever they feel a threat or whenever they have some information that someone might plan something conventional against Russia. Crazy statements, dangerous times. We have here about 7 topics, no less important than the other one, but I mean, they're less important, let's put it this way, than the other one with Putin, but nevertheless very important. The first one, the Russians liberate another, they say, strategic town in Donbass, key settlement in Donbass. I'm going to discuss that one. BRICS will ditch the dollar. That means we have to start manufacturing things from now on because our printing money and the dollar, petrodollar, will not work very much. Remember, Saudi Arabia and China made some deals on yuan purchases, not on dollar. That's not good for us. So Putin developing own payment framework and says. The other one is Russia was banned from participating at the ceremonies at Auschwitz. I will give you my assessment on that one. Remember, Auschwitz was liberated by the Soviet troops. Russia was part of the Soviet troops. Anyway, we find out that patience, again, is our, one of them at least, values, or should be. Why? Because if you wait a little bit longer, the truth will come out. So one of our 4 virtues, ancient Greek virtues, is courage, obviously. You have patience over there, you have moderation, and so on, wisdom. So what do we have here? We find out, coming from Zelensky, that Russia actually destroyed all Ukraine's thermal power plants. How? With those debris falling from the sky that we're told every day when the Russians conduct a massive attack on Ukraine. Only the debris, everything else was destroyed by our air defense systems. Now he says the truth, I guess. All thermal power plants and many of its hydroelectric power plants. That means give me money. Now, could be a lie, a big lie. Zelensky Stein is one of them. So, right, let's move to the next one. In the meantime, the imbecile in the United States of America, who's not all there, Mr. Biden, he is going to give Ukraine, click, 8 billion, almost to 8 billion dollars in weapons aid to Ukraine. $8 billion. You know what $8 billion is? Okay, we're going to make a little calculation. 1 billion is formed of what? $999 million. So you have $999 million. You know how much is $1 million? You know $100 million. Now imagine 10 times of 100. That is going to be what? 999. Now 1 billion is 999.99 plus 1. Now you got 8 of those. 8 multiplied by 9. I'm going to give you not 1 billion. I want to make the hundreds of millions. Hundreds of millions versus the 7.8 billion. It doesn't sound that much, 7, but if I give you $999 million multiplied by 8, you're going to realize how much money you are taken from you and given to someone else instead of being diverted into our infrastructure. So 999 plus 999 plus 999 millions plus 999 millions, all these are just pooped, coughed, vomited by one guy that you voted one time. All right, he's making this decision in the name of your children. That's a crime, fucking crime. Next one, I want to show you a picture, a revealing picture, where we have Ukrainian and Chinese foreign ministers discuss prospects for high-level contacts. And I'm going to show pictures. You know, a picture speaks 1,000 words or something. Now, the Russian destroyer fired warning shots at a NATO member state. Where? In the Arctic Ocean. I'm going to show you all that in a minute. So let's start with the beginning. Here it is. Let me put my goggles. Russian forces liberate key settlements in Donbass and strike Ukrainian military infrastructure. All right, let's see where that village or settlement was liberated. So the Russian Ministry of Defense has reported that units of the Center Battle Group have taken a settlement of Ukrainsk in Donetsk People's Republic. Ukrainsk is towards Pokrovsk, obviously. Here is Ukraine. Here is the line of contact. The Donetsk is in this area, so we're going to go here where Pokrovsk is. The Russians call it differently, Krasnoarmeysk, this is how they call it, and here is Ukrainsk, the town of Ukraine. So these guys are all done, as you see, pinching movement, and here the same way here. The Russians are going to surround Ugledar, they're already in 3 directions. These guys don't update their shit. It's 26th and they didn't, but nevertheless here is they say strategic village or point, Ukrainsk. As a result of decisive actions by the Center Battle Group, the settlement of Ukrainsk in the Donetsk People's Republic has been liberated. End quote. Okay, they also say that according to the report, air defense systems shot down a long-range Neptune missile, 3 Hammer-guided bombs from France, 5 HIMARS rockets from the US, and 45 aircraft-type drones. And Peskov has repeatedly emphasized that the Russian military does not target residential buildings or social institutions. This is what everybody says, and when you find out after the war, they did just that. I don't know if the Russians do it, but mistakes and not only could happen. Let me show you ditching the dollar. Sputnik. Ditching the dollar. Putin announces work on independent BRICS payment system for global trade. Didn't I say this before? That the second club, which is the club of the very good, will create alternative institutions like insurance companies for their vessels. They're not going to be placed in London, and the Brits will say, whenever we allow, we don't issue the right to sail on the global oceans. No, there will be, I don't know, in Taiwan, in China, let's say, and these guys will say, oh my God, now it's a new, I don't know, insurance company over there. It's going to be parallel. We don't recognize you traveling around this globe, you're not going to recognize us. So whenever we meet, what are we going to do? This is divided into, why? Because the baboons here, they thought that they can hit Russia and anneal it and then go over China and take over. I should celebrate that. In the name of selfishness, yeah, I should celebrate that. But hey, I don't operate like that. Let's move on. So what this evil guy does. Russia, together with BRICS countries, is working on creating its own payment system. So who was kicked out of SWIFT? Russia. That means that other countries saw that and said, oh, hold on, take it easy. That means if they did it to mighty Russia, that means they can do it to us as well. So a contract is not a contract. You break your word, or you sanction me to change my behavior according to your interest. Exactly, that's the way life is. Everything else is just for you to follow orders and to stay regimented. Don't drive past 75 miles per hour on the highway or on the freeway, but they do. Why? Because if they get caught, or they never get caught, they say, my name is this, bye. Oh, sir, and please proceed. That's the way it goes. They don't even stop them. So on the global scale, these guys do whatever they want. Remember the rules-based order, world order that the Americans are talking about? They don't give you the rules because it would be very obvious that they break it. But they have to implement it in a non-verbal way. Like, hey, these are the new rules-based world order. What are they? The ones that we feel like. Whenever we feel like. We can change tomorrow and then the next day we can change it back. However it works. Hey, you have to follow that. as you have to do every day with your taxes, with your laws. But they don't. They don't. The Americans can bomb whomever based on their interest, and they call it national security threat. Now, if the US and other baboons say a national security threat, let's say in Shanghai, what are you going to do? Attack China? All right, let's see what these guys are doing. So they saw that these guys are not reliable, and they realized they behave like a parent with a child. You don't do what I tell you to do. I have the means to make you do that by hurting you. Go and clean your room, wash your socks. You're not going to see Gina tonight and all that. You don't go to the discotheque. Let's go back in time, right? In cooperation with BRICS countries, we are working on creating our own payment and settlement system, which will create conditions for the effective and independent servicing of all foreign trade, Putin said during the plenary session of the Russian Energy Week International Forum. These guys are moving forward. The other guys are trying to hold everybody back. BRICS, with Russia chairing the organization this year, sees its mission in combining economic potential and creating opportunities for all those interested in harmonious, mutually beneficial cooperation. These are beautiful words. They always do it. We'll see if this devolves to being a tyrant or tyranny. I think they always do this. Absolute power corruption, blah, blah, blah. All right, or something like that. All right, let's move on. Let's go to the next one. BRICS developing own payment framework, Putin. It will allow member states to effectively and independently service trade with each other, the Russian president has said. So the implication to the US dollar is like this. This is the petrodollar. So I'm the United States of America, and I say, you know what? In order for you to use oil, which you want oil, you take it from Saudi Arabia, for instance. And Saudi Arabia will sell it to you only if you provide them with dollar. How do you get dollar? From me. How do I make dollar? Printing machine, or push buttons and create zeros and then give it to you. So what do? I give you these zeros, but how do I give you these zeros? I tell you, you have the zeros, you buy the oil, right? By selling stuff to me, finite stuff, like these things or other things. So you make things, you manufacture things, you give it to me, you find, and I give you paper and zeros. So you can continue buying oil, so you can build these things, so you can sell it to me. So what do? I just print money for you. And you work. And you work by buying oil and energy, using energy to build stuff. You are the manufacturer. You create stuff. Otherwise, I will be in a cave with my oil and my printed dollar. So this is what these guys attack. So if people would not need to pay in dollars, that means I will not be paying dollars for you to give me stuff. So you're not going to give me stuff. You say, no. You give me stuff back. I don't create anything but the jerk-offs. And lies and bombs. Do you need bombs? Oh, you know how we're going to do? That's the boogeyman. You need guns. Are we going to give you guns? Give me, okay? That's how it is. I'm going to give you guns. How do I give you guns? Manufacturing with what? Banking system, printing money, and our customers that are donating to our campaigns. And then you got the baboons, you got the mass media, got the entertainment industry, and they're all, somehow their interest always is, joining. Right, let's move on. Next one. So this is what's going to happen to US. Banning Russia from Auschwitz ceremony perverted, end quote, Serbian president. Compatriots of those who built the Nazi death camp will presumably attend, Alexander Vucic said. So that is the Germans and who else, right? Let's see. Excluding Russia from ceremonies marking the 80th anniversary of the liberation of the Auschwitz camp. Now they come with this one. By Soviet troops illustrate that what's wrong with the West, Serbian President Vucic says. Troops of the Red Army, Soviets, reached the camp built in southern Poland by Nazi Germany on liberating around 7,000 remaining prisoners. What? Soon you will have, and I'm quoting, soon you will have the ceremony marking the liberation of Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp. That's the term. Vucic told Serbian media on Wednesday on the sidelines of the those, and I'm quoting, those who liberated Auschwitz-Birkenau, the Russians, not the Russians, the Soviets, but there were Russians in the Soviet army, won't be invited. I presume that those who had the camp built, who built it, will be invited. Everything is, this world is, pardon my phrase, perverted and inverted. So So what if you don't participate? That's their thing. That's those things. And in Auschwitz, remember, there were not only one group. There were many groups over there, okay? And 7,000? Didn't have 7,000... Why didn't they have 7,000? And nobody would speak anymore. They didn't. Isn't that strange? Remember, the Germans and Nazis were evil, very evil, but they were somehow inefficient. It's imbecilic. Anyway, so what if you're not invited? That's your little thing over there in Europe that keeps you by the balls, a certain kind of, anyway. So let's see what Zelensky Stein gives us the information, or he uses the big lie as he uses it. I mean, you know, he's a Zelensky Stein, what do you expect? Ukrainska Pravda. Zelensky, Russia has destroyed all Ukraine's thermal power plants and many of its hydroelectric power plants. How is this possible? Remember, every time I come here and I give you the information, the reports coming from the Ukrainians that the Russians launched massive drone and missile attacks on Ukraine. The Ukrainians have a efficiency of downing their drones of the missiles. Usually, sometimes 100% of drones are down. Sometimes, I don't know, 80%, but no less of 80%. And when they say they hit it, when they say there were some explosions or some fires, they always say they are the debris of the ones that they shut down, including the missiles. Never the missiles strike until it's the Kakhovka hydroelectric dam, right? Then it's a direct strike, or maybe some explosives, they said. And we believe them. Why? That's what they say. So, in this case, whenever that happens, wait 48 hours. I always say 48 hours. Within 48 hours, they themselves come with a report saying, oh, we have 600,000 consumers without power because of the debris that fell on the right places. You don't hit it right above you. You hit it miles away if you're good. Or at least you hit it, it comes exactly on the distribution centers of electricity, power lines and all that somehow. That's why I don't believe squat. They hit the targets, and that's the why. Destroyed all Ukraine's thermal power plants. Or it's a lie. He lies to the West, so the West and give them money from their children, the baboons. Why? Because they vote one time, and these guys do whatever they want for four. Is that democracy? Is that the way it's supposed to function? No, we should prosecute those guys who they enslave our country and destroy our economy and not only social fabric of our countries in 4 years that we need generations to build back. Or it's too late because you're already drowned, you're already in the water belly up and flowing downstream with worms inside of you already. Jesus Christ, that's what it is. So I think he's just saying for the weak segment, I wouldn't say segment, majority of the population in any country, they are weak, they are cowards. They, send them more $1 billion. Look what the Russians are doing. Now, which one is it? You destroy them all or you didn't? This is a big lie. But anyway, it works always because you have the weak. And the weak like democracy. You know why? Because the weak would never get in power unless they are united. But they're weak. So in democracy, a weak person, a dumbass, could nullify your vote. Why? That's democracy. So regardless how much that person is worth as a human being, as character, as strength, knowledge, all that, courage, and all virtues, remember, regardless how much that person knows about the issue, he potentially has the vote to nullify yours, who know shit about things. That's democracy. I totally disagree with that. That kind of mass democracy, and who gets into the baboon's brain? What are they watching? CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, garbage. They watch movies. They love movies with dreams. What's a movie? It's a dream. It's, remember, if you had the luck to have a mommy, not a daddy, a mommy, come in and tuck you in bed and say, okay, let me read you a story. Papa and Gina went and took the golden apples, and then Gina was attacked by the evil blah blah blah. That is a movie. So those guys are closing their eyes, watching their movies, So when you watch a movie, you close your eyes. In the outside eyes are, the inside are broken, and you leave. You're a story. It's like you dream, and you see like you're flying. This is what it is. They get into a drug. Anyway, so in a drug-induced trance. That's what is a movie. 2 hours of a movie is like you smoked something, or you or something. That's what you are for 2 hours. You're outside of reality. What's up? What are you doing? Yes. What do you want? What time is it? You ate. What do you want? Some loving. I don't have money, I have loving. All right. So that's the way it is, my friends. Let's move to the next article. And here is the reaction that the baboons in America will say, yeah, it's for the war. Didn't you read here what Mr. Zelensky said right there? You know? Oh, Biden announces, one guy announces nearly 8 billion aid in weapons, that is military aid to kill other people. That's our military aid. No, it's only air defense systems for Ukraine, including JSOW and Patriot munitions. That guy with this guy, right? That guy. You can tell this guy is amnesia, Alzheimer, whatever. So as I said before, 8 billion. $8 billion. That's what it is. $8 billion. 8 billion is 8 times $999 million. How many schools, how many freeways with asphalt, not garbage, concrete, boom, 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 you can build? How many hospitals can you build? Oh, and we don't have universal health care. We can't afford. Whenever you hear this coming from the government, get your cock out and insert it deep in the... Okay? It doesn't have to be mouth first and then ass. You can switch, all right? For them. Ass and then mouth. Whatever you want. Sorry, but I'm so... Okay? So when you hear, we don't have money, we don't have resources, what's the budget? The budget is how much you print and how much your little Federal Reserve Bank, private bank, decides to move your interest rates, dictates how your finances are working. That's the way it is. So whenever you hear that, don't believe them. So, don't believe, don't trust them. They have the money, the printing machine, they have it. And the international banking system can push one finger or many fingers, actually only one, on the zero key on their little laptops. Tick, 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 to create how many zeros they want to give it to you. But they don't give it to you, they give it to someone else. Why? All the thermal power plants were here. Let's move on, mother. Anyway, here it is, my friends. This comes from Ukrainska Pravda. And the reason why I picked this is the main page, is right here, this article. You see over here? And it says, all right, let's make it big. Ukrainian and Chinese foreign ministers discuss, quote unquote, prospects for high-level contact. I don't give a shit about the main thing. I care about who is this and who is this. I thought that this guy is the foreign minister of Ukraine, as the title says. But no. This is Wang Yi. He is the foreign minister of China. This guy is Yermak Stein, who is the chief of presidential office of Ukraine. So he's not the foreign minister, but is featured here like that. You don't have a picture with these guys? Why do you feature this guy? But wait, they have a picture right there. When I do it, right there, they have a picture. And indeed, you have Wang Yi and you have Yermak right there. And who's this? Nicely dressed, normally dressed, and the other guy as a Zelensky Stein right there. So who's in charge here? This, or Yermak Stein? Well, I'll let you be the judge. Next one. And this is the last topic. Russian destroyer fired warning shots at Norwegian fishing boat. Why? Because Norway is a NATO member state and follows orders. A Russian Navy warship fired warning shots at a Norwegian fishing vessel in the Arctic Ocean earlier this month, according to an account from the boat's skipper. What do we find out only now? So, the Russian Udaloy class destroyer Admiral Levchenko was taking a stroll, part in a large-scale maneuvers off the Norwegian coast. Well, we're gonna see. A region of increasingly strategic importance to both Moscow and NATO. The incident is said to have happened on September 12th when the 49-foot fishing boat Christina Ragnhild Christina was in the Norwegian Exclusive Economic Zone, EEZ, north of Vardø, in the Barents Sea, off Norway's northern coast. The Norwegian vessel was fishing quietly and legally, and had already been in contact with the Russian destroyer via radio. As the boat's captain explained to, he says, I get called up on the radio. This is Russian warship. You need to leave the area. I repeat that we should pull up our lines. Then the Russian warship comes at us at full speed. The Russian captain complained that the warship was taking part in a live fire exercise, but the Norwegian counterpart refused to move. The Norwegian captain continued. I look over my shoulder. Which one, left or right? On the starboard side. Okay, now we know where. And the warship is coming towards us in full stream. The ship is 200 meters, 650 feet from us. It's slightly threatening, you might say. I might not say. Maybe you say it. They turn on the typhoon foghorn for about 15 seconds to get our attention. Then he fires a cannon somewhere in the sea. There's a loud bang, and the hull shakes violently. My pussy hurts. Okay, so where is that? They named a few things. They said first the title says in the where is that? In the Arctic Ocean. All right, let's see where the Arctic Ocean is. Right here. This is the Arctic Ocean for you, my friends. So Norway would be here. This is Norway right here. This is Russia, obviously, here. So you have Greenland over there, who's not green whatsoever. It's Iceland and Canada, and this is Alaska here. All right, so here is where this is the Arctic Ocean, very high up here. Well, let's go to the different map. Right here. So this must have happened somewhere here, and we're gonna go to Barents Sea. That's why they said Barents Sea. It's right here, Barents Sea. On the other map would be here somewhere. So in between Norway and these little islands there. So between Norway and these islands. So somewhere here it occurred. So again, we're gonna do it like this. In this area. This is Norway. This is Russia. This is Russia here. And then you have Finland. You have Sweden. So, who was right? Who was wrong? Well, as someone said, first you do it and then you ask questions. And since we won, we're going to tell you who was wrong and who was right. So the same here. The guys were conducting a live ammunition drill. The other ones were fishing. Otherwise, if you ask the Russians, that comes from the war zone. That's a English-speaking, whatever, little magazine over there. Not from the Russians. Probably, 100% certain Russians will say, hey, those guys were in our line of fire and we did this so we can save their lives. We have to protect them. They would come right there and they would be unsafe for them. And since here in America, safety is my goal, the Norwegians should have moved because they're also like us, the same values. They're just like us. Diversity is our strength. So they should have moved because they're kind, they're tolerant, they're flexible, okay? And they are, they're good people, basically. Well, they used live ammunition. And what did the Norwegians do? Went back. What are they gonna do? Challenge Russia? Putin just issued if you just do something, I'm gonna fuck you up. And I think he means that. Why? Because the Russians are consistent. As I always say, in good or in bad. I give you $1, he will give you $1. I give you a punch in the nose, they will give you a punch in the nose. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.